Cities across America where officers were killed in the line of duty. The group stopped in Shreveport this morning to honor fallen officer Payne. NBC6's Jay Jackson has more on A Ride to Remember.
Every life is precious, and the taking of any human life is unacceptable.
Shreveport Police Chief Ben Raymond has a powerful message for the person responsible for the shooting death of Shreveport police officer Payne.
Coming over the hill on Crockett Street are motorcycles, escorting a group that's been on the road for miles. SPD officers wait and watch as they get closer and closer.
We will follow every lead wherever they may take us, and we will work to identify and apprehend the coward or cowards responsible for the brutal murder of Officer Payne.
It's horrible that we have to be recognized in such a manner, but the fact is we did lose an officer. She was one of the law enforcement heroes that we lost in 2019. So to know that she's being recognized and that she's being memorialized as part of this on this motorcycle is, I think it's phenomenal.
Shreveport, Louisiana. Officer Payne stood at her home on Midway Avenue, dressed in her police uniform, preparing to start her shift. She was 22 years old. Just 3 months earlier, she graduated from the police academy. She stepped outside. Gunshots tore through the night. Multiple rounds hit her body. She collapsed in her own driveway. Inside the house was her boyfriend, Travian Anderson, and their 2-year-old daughter. Anderson told responding officers he'd heard the shots. He said he saw 2 men in black clothing running from the scene. He claimed he grabbed his weapon, chased them, and fired at them before finding Shattery wounded. But investigators found no evidence of 2 attackers. No witnesses reported seeing anyone flee. Anderson's story started falling apart almost immediately. Text messages between Anderson and his cousin Lawrence Pierre showed they'd been tracking Shattery's movements that night. The murder weapon, a .40 caliber handgun, was hidden. Pierre later confessed he witnessed the shooting and helped cover it up. Anderson didn't chase attackers. He was the one who fired the shots that killed her. What would make someone kill the mother of their child? Drop a comment with where you're watching from, and hit that like button if you want to see justice served.
She was one of the law enforcement heroes that we lost in 2019. So to know that she's being recognized and that she's being memorialized as part of this on this motorcycle is, I think it's phenomenal.
Chief Raymond is talking about Payne, who was a rookie for the department, killed by her boyfriend before work, being remembered amongst others.
You know, you hear people say all the time, we'll never forget. And in law enforcement, that takes a course all of its own. We truly will never forget the officers that have given their life defending the city and defending our department.
Our goal is to provide love, that each and every one of these officers is a brother, sister, mother, father, daughter, son.
And it's evident in the way departments span multicultural backgrounds, all different races, gender, and colors beyond the blue.
We look on here and there is no color, creed, religion.
Jade Jackson, NBC6 News.
Thank you, Jade.
We are learning today from Chief Ben Raymond that she was a well-liked member of the police department here and had a calling to serve. Now, as the investigation continues, Chief Raymond is issuing a stern warning to whoever committed this heinous act.
Every life is precious, and the taking of any human life is unacceptable.
Shreveport Police Chief Ben Raymond has a powerful message for the person responsible for the shooting death of Shreveport police officer Payne.
We will follow every lead wherever they may take us, and we will work to identify and apprehend the coward or cowards responsible for the brutal murder of Officer Payne.
We are still mourning the heinous murder of Officer Payne, but thanks to these men and women, we can have some peace in taking 3 evil cowards off of our streets so they cannot harm anyone else. The collective investigative efforts of the Shreveport Police Department, the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office, the Bossier Parish Sheriff's Office, the Louisiana State Police, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and many other agencies resulted in the arrest of Travian Anderson, Glenn Frierson, and Lawrence Pierre for the brutal murder of Officer Payne on January 9, 2019. As I share information about this case with you, please understand the investigation is still ongoing and the prosecutorial phase of the criminal justice system is just beginning. I will not provide any information which could affect the judicial process. As you know, officers were dispatched to 1633 Midway Avenue at around 8:19 p.m. on January 9, 2019, responding to reports of a female gunshot victim. Officers arrived on scene to find Officer Shateri Payne suffering from several gunshot wounds. She was transported to Ochsner Health and succumbed to her injuries at about 10:17 p.m. Travion Anderson, the boyfriend of Shateri Payne and father of their young child, was present when the shooting occurred and was brought to the detective office for questioning. He advised he was inside the residence when he heard gunshots, then went outside and shot at a person wearing all black clothing, whom he believed to be the suspect. He then noticed that Officer Payne had been shot. Anderson was released following his statements to investigators late Wednesday night. Evidence recovered during the course of the investigation led detectives to develop Travion Anderson as a suspect in the murder. We believe Anderson shot and killed her and concocted the false narrative of her being murdered by an unknown suspect. Two other men, Pierre and Frierson, have been charged in connection with the murder as well. We have also recovered the weapon we believed had been used. All three men were arrested and charged with second-degree murder.
Have been arrested for the murder of Shreveport police officer Shateri Payne.
Officer Payne was shot and killed just before her shift. This was last Wednesday night, January the 9th. She was not yet on duty, but she was in uniform on her way to work.
Let's go quickly to
arrest. Again, our cameras were rolling just a short time ago as they were transported to the city jail. We were the only station there. Police confirmed the arrest of 26-year-old Travion Anderson, who lives on Midway Avenue where the shooting happened and may be some type of boyfriend to Officer Payne. They also tell us they've also charged 22-year-old Lawrence Pierre and 38-year-old Glenn Frierson with second-degree murder as well. The investigation is not over. It's still ongoing at this hour, and police are going to hold a media briefing tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us here at 10. I'm Doug Warner. Breaking tonight, life in prison. That's the sentence handed down to Travion Anderson for his involvement in the killing of Shreveport police officer Shateri Payne. Last month, Anderson was found guilty for planning and carrying out Officer Payne's murder in 2019. Payne was the mother of his child. She was gunned down just moments before leaving home to head in to start her patrol shift. A man named Lawrence Pierre II previously pled guilty, was also sentenced to life in prison. As for Anderson, he will face life in prison without parole or probation. He was also sentenced to 30 years for conspiracy to commit second-degree murder.
He called and told me she'd been shot.
What was running through your mind?
He killed my baby. She smelled. You know, you can smell it. It was like the weirdest smell. Her perfume. And, you know, her favorite perfume, her Gucci Premier, in like blood, like that metallic blood smell. I smell it in her hair product, all of that. I remember, you know, I still have my pants, my uniform pants in my uniform because it has her blood on it, and I don't ever want to let it go. I still have it.
It's been a long, emotional day for the friends, family, and colleagues of fallen Shreveport police officer Shateri Payne. Now, 9 days after being shot to death in her own driveway, 3 different services honored her memory on this day before her funeral. Jeff Farrell recaps today's events.
A private viewing by Officer Shateri Payne's colleagues with the Shreveport Police Department started a day of services that was followed by a public viewing, all taking place at Winfield Funeral Home in West Shreveport. From there, a police escort traveled the 3 miles to Summer Grove Baptist Church for the final service of the day, a wake.
After today's 3 memorial services, it turns out it was far more than friends, family, and colleagues who turned out. Estimates of hundreds, if not a few thousand people coming forward for these events. There were also just perfect strangers who didn't know what to do other than turn out and pay their respects.
I'm a mother and I have children, and for someone so innocent to just to go, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Life is so short and people just go around just taking folks' life. It don't make no sense, and I just can't explain.
Detectives investigating Shatteri's murder immediately noticed problems with Travion Anderson's account. His timeline didn't match the physical evidence. No one in the neighborhood saw two men running away. There were no shell casings or footprints suggesting multiple shooters. Then they found the text messages. Anderson had been communicating with his cousin, Lawrence Pierre, about Shattery's location that evening. Pierre was 22 years old and worked as a deputy clerk at Caddo Juvenile Court. When questioned, he admitted he was there when it happened. He witnessed Anderson shoot Shattery, and he helped hide the .40 caliber handgun that killed her. The messages revealed something else. Shattery had been planning to leave Anderson. She was going to take their daughter and start over. Anderson knew this. A third man, Glenn Frierson, was also charged. Frierson was 38, worked as a barber, and prosecutors believed he played a role. But when his case went to trial in April 2022, he was acquitted on all charges. All three men were arrested shortly after Shattery's death and charged with second-degree murder. On April 4th, 2022, Lawrence Pierre pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. 2 weeks later, on April 20th, 2022, Travion Anderson was convicted of second-degree murder and conspiracy. On June 1st, 2022, he received life without parole, plus an additional 30 years for conspiracy to be served consecutively. Glenn Frierson walked free. Thousands of people attended memorials for Officer Payne. The Shreveport Police Department lost one of their own just 90 days after she'd taken her oath. Her mother, Lakeitha Nash Hudson, described the devastation to her family. Her granddaughter lost her mother to violence and her father to prison. This case reveals something many people don't want to face. The most dangerous time for someone in a troubled relationship is often when they decide to leave. Shattery had a career. She wore a badge. She was making plans for a better future for herself and her daughter. She was doing everything right. But the person she lived with, the father of her child, saw her independence as a threat. Statistics show that women are far more likely to be harmed by intimate partners than by strangers. Leaving takes courage, but it also requires planning and support. Tell people you trust. Involve authorities when necessary. Don't dismiss threats as empty words. Control can turn deadly when someone feels they're losing power. If you're watching this and you know someone trying to leave a dangerous situation, take them seriously. If you're in that situation yourself, reach out for help before making your move. There are resources, hotlines, and people trained to help you leave safely. Shattery's story isn't just about one officer's murder. It's about what happens when we ignore warning signs. It's about the price of staying silent. Have you ever seen warning signs in a relationship that everyone else missed? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Officer Shattery Elise Payne was 22 years old. She'd been a police officer for only 3 months. She took an oath to protect her community. She left behind a young daughter who will grow up knowing her mother served with honor and knowing her father destroyed that. If this story affected you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Share this video to spread awareness, because cases like Shattery's need to be told. Drop a comment. What do you think could have prevented this? Rest in peace, Officer Shattery Payne. Gone too soon, but never forgotten.